Hello, I'm Alberto Giordanelli, Chief Business Development Officer at Victory Productions, and I'm delighted to share with you an interesting project we completed for a client in California. We are going to be looking at a full-fledged LMS, a very interesting LMS that was developed from scratch to provide the perfect platform for their content accumulated over decades of work for the social studies in the area of social studies. Social Studies School Service was looking for a way to take the materials they had created over time and the materials they had acquired over time and moving away from a print platform to an online platform that would allow for true, sophisticated, multidimensional analysis of information, and that would create a platform for teachers to interact with students in rich and powerful ways. We are going to be looking at a couple of aspects of this platform, but it's really interesting to actually sign up for a demo which will give you a much deeper perspective of what can be accomplished here. One of the interesting elements that bears mentioning here is that the platform was developed very much with iPads, iPhones in mind, so it's really very much based on HTML5, on the latest web standards. The back end of it is built using Ruby on Rails, so it's a true web app, very powerful web app with a lot of features set up in a way that's quite compatible with the emerging web standards. As you can see, this is the teacher view. We just logged in as a teacher, and there's a number of things that appear immediately. There's a calendar that shows the things that are pending and dates that where you've scheduled different events with your students, to-do list that you can edit, and we actually have a pretty good support area where you can watch a video and go through pretty extensive tutorials. So we made sure it was easy for teachers to understand the platform because it's so rich, there's so much to it that it's important for them to be able to navigate. One of the ways in which we made this platform become a rich way to, or a rich bridge between the print world and the online world is we actually created a workflow where components that were previously based in InDesign could be repurposed in a relatively straightforward way by going to the EPUB format. EPUB 3 specifically, is a wonderful format in the sense that it takes advantage of all the emerging web standards. It leverages HTML5, and it allows the creation of content packages that are non-proprietary, that are for which there are tools, creation tools that are quite powerful, and that can then be multi-purposed into different media such as ebooks and other such deployment mechanisms. So Active Classroom, the way to get content into Active Classroom is by actually creating EPUB files or just uploading different types of content files into the environment. We also set it up with state standards very much in mind, so you can actually start looking for content. This is actually our activity set builder where we create new lessons based on, we go through the library of content that's available for teachers that's been curated and created by a Social Studies School Service, and you can search for appropriate lesson plans, for appropriate activity sets that either correlate to your state standards or that belong to a particular subject area or grade level. So in this case, you can just enter a grade level for a particular state. And look at the state content standards, and you can see standards that are related to that particular grade level. There we go. So in this case, there's quite a few standards. So you can choose the standards that you're trying to address. Multiple standards can be addressed, and then you can make your search for content that aligns to those specific standards. You can also simply decide, I'm looking for US history, and I want perhaps decision-making activities or historical map activities, or I want something that relates to, say, World War II. I can just search for activity sets related to that. In this case, women during World War II, and you can also search for specific activity types, and I want historical maps, or image analysis activities. So you can really search for very detailed pieces of content within this repository. So let's reset this and just go to U.S. history, and let's find something about the American Revolution. And let's look for activity sets. So colonization to independence, we have an activity set here that has a duration of 180 minutes, and you can actually drag it here to create your own version of this. So there's a full drag and drop interface here, and you can create your own name for it, and you can see the different components that constitute this specific activity. So there's an image analysis activity, a couple of image analysis activities, a reading activity, and then some video analysis. So you can see that different types of media can be incorporated into an activity set, and it's 180 minutes long, and you can delete or add or reorder activities within this to create a customized version, so a teacher can rapidly create a customized version of an activity set to be able to then assign it to his or her students. Once a teacher has created a custom activity set, or actually has decided what activities he wants to pursue with his students, then he can simply assign that activity set to a particular group of students. So here are the different activity sets that have been created. In this case, we have the one we just created, the demo colonization here. So I can assign this activity set, or actually I'm going to probably assign, this is a good one. We'll assign this, and you can assign it either to an individual student, to a group, and you can have different groups, like perhaps ELL students or students or advanced students. So you can create different groups within your classroom. In this case, I'm just going to select my U.S. history class here. So I'm going to save this assignment. I actually need to give it a name here. Save this assignment. And now my students will be told that they have a new assignment and that they need to complete it. I can also, so I can see this test assignment here, and I can see whether they've completed it. I can actually grade the open-ended questions that my students have completed. There's a whole student management interface here where you can create new students, add, delete, import them from an Excel file. And there's also a tool for creating discussion boards surrounding different topics, so you can actually have multiple discussions on different topics that, and as we're seeing a test, where we're not seeing this on the live server, these are mostly tests that we've done internally. So you're basically able to create multiple discussions around the different topics that we're teaching. So it becomes a very powerful tool. Beyond that, we also added a video conferencing component to it. So you can start to see that this is a really powerful platform for learning management, as a learning management system, because not only can we create activity sets, assign them to students, create different types of groupings, we can also grade open-ended activities, create our own tests, and actually have a video conferencing going on, all within the same platform. So it's a pretty powerful platform. I'm actually going to sign out and sign in as a student so that we can see the assignment we just created. Here we go. So you can see the test assignment has been created by the teacher in this case. So we have this new assignment. You can see the list of things you need to do. So this is what a student sees. They also have their own email client built right into the platform. So again, a lot of powerful features to allow collaboration and sharing. And let's just take a look at the assignment and see what a student would experience when they go into it. So here's the assignment. It's 180 minutes long. And there's no conference related to this, no video conferencing, or no special annotations which we could have added to this to customize it further. So here are the different components. You can see there's a reading, image analysis, video analysis, so you can have many different types of activities. And let's just start with reading. As you can see here, this is actually an EPUB reader that's reading the content, and you can of course go through it. You can do things like change its formatting, just make the font smaller or larger, but I think the most interesting tool here is the ability to annotate in very meaningful ways. For instance, you may decide that this over here is the main idea perhaps, so we're going to call this main idea. Remember this for the test. And now you start having annotations with different colors indicating different portions of the text. There's a number of other interesting features here. As you can see, you can navigate through this in a very straightforward manner. There's embedded assessment right into the inside the content, so you can actually go to multiple choice or fill in the blank activities right within the content, and they will be forwarded to the teacher when you're done, so you can either submit for review or just save your progress. And then let's just kind of go back to the assignment and see some other types of activities. This is another interesting tool that we generated within this environment. This is what we're calling the Image Examiner, and the Image Examiner is actually a nice tool that's very powerful when used in conjunction with primary sources. So here you can see primary sources. Like in this case, there's a very nice little zoom feature that allows you to take a look at some of the details, and on some of these primary sources there's so much in the details that's interesting. You can certainly turn this into a full screen rendition, which is frequently very useful, or you can divide it into quadrants. And the reason for dividing it into quadrants is that there's a lot of exercises that you can do splitting up the image and asking questions. In this case, there's a number of activities here that are related to this image and that suggest different ways of analyzing it. And there are several exercises using the Image Examiner here. So lots of interesting ways of interacting with content, and I believe this is a really powerful feature within this specific platform. There's also video analysis, Google Map activities, a number of different additional things, and you can certainly display video here that's streamed very efficiently to your browser. Make it full screen if you want to, and then again answer questions related to this that get forwarded to your teacher. So lots of interesting, powerful ways of interacting. The idea of this platform is to truly provide a very customized way of turning a series of assets that exist as print materials into an online environment that is truly useful and powerful for teachers. So this has allowed Social Studies School Service to move from a model of selling product to a subscription-based model that's powerful and interesting, and that's really been turning their business in new and fascinating directions. So I hope you get a chance to look at this in more detail, but it proves some of the skills that we bring to the table when developing powerful web apps that combine our understanding of what happens in the classroom with our technology groups, with the skills of our technology team to create integrated environments that make sense for the student, for the teacher, and for the content creator. Thank you very much, and I'm looking forward to seeing you in Active Classroom.